Three, two, one.
Hello, hello, everybody.
Whoa.
We
Oh man.
jump on this thing here today. Um,
We got
Man,
crazy today, right?
it has been absolutely crazy. Lots of good news coming out, man. I got to tell you, I know we usually talk about this stuff on Friday, but new housing sales as distinguished from existing housing sales. So think new construction. New housing sales are up 0.6% to an annualized, seasonally adjusted annual rate of like 600 and some thousand for the month of April. So
Yep.
what's awesome about that is it's up, but obviously the month before it was down like 13%.
Right.
So we can certainly and I think that that's what we're going to see, Josh. We're going to see a huge drop off, and then there's going to be good numbers, good numbers, good numbers, good numbers. It's going to take us a while to get to be recovered, but I don't think we're going to continue to see this slide. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And dude, we have a differing of opinions here. I mean, not completely. Like I see the arguments, and part of me thinks that perhaps this president might pull off an economic miracle. But the large unemployment numbers really are, I mean, they're real numbers. People don't have jobs. How are they going to buy houses? And that's like lingering in the back of my head because, I mean, look, we all know that people want to move, they want to buy, and it's been repressed for 2 months. And it's kind of like pulling back a rubber band. Of course,
Right.
it's going to be a slingshot. It's just, I'm just reserved on my outlook on like not necessarily the next 90 days, but then the 90 days to 6 months following that
So
could
what you're
be.
saying is, so you're trying to come up with a less graphic, more PETA friendly way of saying a dead cat bounce. Is that is that the
No,
rubber band stretch is
you know,
good? I like it.
you know what though? I don't think it's a dead cat bounce. Like I really think it's real demand, and it's the imbalance of supply and demand that we've had for probably 2 years, and then just like an immediate stop and break of this really strong economy. The
Right.
question for me I guess on my end is like, what's this going to mean after everybody gets through the excitement of, oh my gosh, we're out of this, I can go back to normal and all this stuff? Like, what happens next? And that,
Right.
I guess, is my question. But dude,
All right.
yes,
So we're talking about marketing today.
that's
We're
right.
talking about marketing the rest of this week and probably next week as well. We're going to do some quick intros here on who we are. Thank you very much, by the way, for joining us. This is the Real Estate Hackers. We come live to you every day at 12 with really great content. And we also do a book giveaway. So whoever has the best comment of the day is going to
And on that note, we had some people that got a book last week. Taz, who is on right now and already commenting, he threw up a little bit of love here on Facebook. So I appreciate that, Taz.
nice.
If you guys want your copy of Real Estate Hack, or I'm sorry, Property Hackers, give us some good comments. Let's talk. Right?
Absolutely. Yep. So Josh, my name is Judah Hoover. I am what's that?
Let's start with you today. Tell me a little bit
Gotcha.
about State House Group, and yeah.
So we manage about 4,000 units across 4 different states, everywhere from Allentown, Trenton, Philadelphia, South New Jersey, all through Central PA, over to Gettysburg, Harrisburg, Reading, down into Baltimore and Virginia Beach. So kind of a big amoeba type footprint there that we have, and we just love it. I called somebody. I got a lead last night in my email, and because she was on one of our websites, and she came through at like a 12, like a 8:15, and I was calling her by like 8:25, and she
Yep.
just could not believe that somebody called and I said, listen, I don't work every night till 8 o'clock, but I don't mind every once in a while, working late. And when you love what you do, that means your quality of work is higher, your customers are more satisfied, and you have better results. I'm really happy about the stuff that we do.
Yeah,
Do we manage office space? Yes, John and Green, we do manage office space. Because we manage 4,000 units, commercial is a smaller percentage of what we do, but we definitely do have access to office space, and we can talk to office space offline about that.
Yeah.
Josh Weidman.
Yeah, my name's Josh Weidman. I am the local branch owner and proprietor here for Hard Money Bankers. We have an office here right outside of Hershey. We also have offices in Philadelphia, North Jersey, and Columbia, Maryland. And we provide hard money financing for real estate investors. That includes, single family fix and flips, single family value add, or not single family, but yeah, single family, multifamily value add acquisition construction on like an apartment building or a rental unit. We also do commercial. I mean, I looked last Thursday, I went down to Westchester and took a look at a commercial building, 5-unit commercial building. So, I mean, like we provide acquisition construction financing, bridge loans, short-term refinancing, and we help a lot of investors here in Central PA, actually all over Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and Washington, D.C. So if you've got a property or a project that you're looking for financing on, you can contact me. My phone number is right here, 717-213-8488, or you can email me at josh@hardmoneybankers.com. And all right. So
what are we talking about today, Josh?
What's that? Well, today we're going to talk about some fundamentals of marketing. I mean, we went over some basics and like an overview of marketing yesterday, but I think some of the most difficult part of figuring out what to do on a marketing campaign starts with, what do you do first? Like you just throw stuff at the wall. I mean, like when I got started, I had no idea what I was doing, except I knew I wanted to find good properties, right? And had a background in door-to-door canvassing with used to sell home improvements and things like that.
Really? I did not know that.
Windows and siding, man.
You were on the canvassing team.
When I was in college, and
wow.
That into in-home sales and things like that. But the bottom line is, I just did what I knew, and some of it worked, and some of it worked awfully. I remember sending out a postcard campaign and spending like $2,000-3,000 on this campaign, and spattered all over my local market and didn't get one phone call. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? And I wish somebody would have said to me, like, look, you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to do everything. Do these 2 or 3 things to get started and get the ball rolling. And then you can add on as you go on from there. So Taz used to sell vacuums. I love it. I love it.
Kirby, dude, if you can hire a Kirby salesman, you are set.
Yeah. And I mean, when we had George Beatty on here a couple of weeks ago, his whole sales team comes from in-home salespeople. I mean, that's his background, and that environment is pretty cool. So let's take a look at this. Let's see where we start here. So we got the foundations. I picked out 3, and Judah, you and I talked about this morning. 3 specific campaigns that you can run, regardless of whether you are just starting or you're looking to add something on to your, your portfolio of campaigns to increase your leads. So
here's the thing. Here's why I love this. Number one, all 3 of these work very well for newbies, but they also scale very well. And what I love about them is it is hard to spend $5,000 on any one of these. Therefore, it's hard to lose $5,000 on any one of these. And I think that most real estate investors, with using these 3 methods or other similar marketing methods, could buy 1 to 2 houses a month. I think these methods can get you 24 houses a year.
Yep.
maybe 24 is a little bit of a stretch, but 10 to 12 is not. And I ask you, dear listeners, what would your life be like if, let's say, you did 10 more deals than you did last year, and let's say you did a bad return of a net $5,000 per deal? What would an extra $50,000 a year do for you that would probably retire you or your wife? You probably wouldn't need to do anything else. You certainly would not be doing buying a Maserati, but you could say, I am a full-time real estate investor. And believe me, there's something to, do you remember that guy? He was the ugly guy from Rounders. I forget what his name is, but Ramesh or something like that. And he's like, he's the guy who like never goes for it big. He just is always there grinding out the rent check every month. Is how the Matt Damon character kind of makes fun of him. He's like, yeah, I got rent to pay and I got kids to feed. I'm never gonna go broke playing poker though, because I play poker differently than you. These marketing methods are how you
These are the foundation.
Foundations, exactly. Thank
Judith, you and I had a conversation, this is weeks ago now, where we were talking about multi-level marketing, right? Now, to be fair, this is not multi-level marketing. I'm not pitching any of that. But, we were talking about, one of the biggest downfalls of an MLM is that they pitch hey, give this a good hard go for 2 years and you're going to be a millionaire,
Right.
And in reality, if you're making an extra $1,000 a month forever or $500 a month forever, it's not going to be a crazy life changer. But if you think about a real estate investment that gives you $200 or $300 a month and worth a net after your mortgage.
If you do one deal that turns into a rental that you do a BRRRR strategy on, and you're making $200 a month extra cash flow. Let me ask you a question, Josh, because after the last downturn, you became a vulture. You were a wholesaler, and you were out there preying on all those poor innocent people. How many of those people wouldn't have been in their situation if they just had an extra $600 a month coming in?
Exactly.
It's not the difference between success and failure in life. Is oftentimes not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. It is the little incremental. Now, the caveat of that obviously is control your expenditures going into a situation, and don't set yourself up where a $600 a month difference makes or breaks your situation. Yeah, Steve, I gotta tease him. I have a love-hate relationship with wholesalers, as you know. But anyway, let's dive into content here, my friend, because I love the MLM analogy because it's true. Is you can make a whole lot of money and it not seem like a whole lot of money if you set your expectations wrong.
That's right. And one other item that I want to say, this is not the be all and end all.
Right.
This is not the end of all of your marketing campaigns. And it's not it's not necessarily everything that you're going to be doing, but it is a place to start where you can start or add on to what you're already doing. You have that success where you're doing a deal a month. You're closing and making $5,000 a month. Now you add one more thing and you add one more thing and you add one more thing. As your business grows, it allows you to phase in. And this is an easy way to do that. So the first thing on my list is canvassing and door knocking.
Yep.
And everybody that is sitting there watching this is like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And guess what? That's why it works so well. No one else will do it. And if we had 10,000 people watching this live stream right now, of those 10,000 people, there might be one or two people that said, oh, okay, I'll give it a try.
So I've been very blessed that because of my, I'm kind of the Don King. I'm the promoter, not the boxer in many ways for the first half of my career in the real estate world. And so I've been able to talk backstage to a lot of big speakers. And I said to one time, I was like, dude, I'm having phenomenal success with my door knocking campaigns. Why aren't you guys teaching people that? And they're like, well, we kind of mention it in our course, but we don't mention it from the front of the stage because it doesn't sell courses. So even the people who are actively successful, also you can knock on doors yourself or put out flyers. I liked putting out flyers instead of knocking on a door, waiting, and then going on. I would print out 200 flyers, and I knocked on doors if they were in the 90-day window of default. You can go to your local courthouse, get a list of people who are 90 days down on their mortgage, and go knock on those doors and say, "Hey, Josh, I was just down at the courthouse looking up something else, and I saw that there might be some trouble currently with your mortgage. Let's talk about it. I might be able to work something out with you." And you either negotiate a wholesale, a short sale, turn them onto a realtor, and then your realtors love you because you got a great listing, a lay down listing appointment for them. But that's kind of how that process goes. So I would knock on if they were specific targeted houses, if they were, or situations, if they were specific neighborhoods. I love townhouses, 1-car attached garage, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, built sometime between 5 to 10 to 15 years old, because the economics of them work out really good. I would just flyer those neighborhoods. When I was mad at my boss in the mortgage industry, I would just take a stack of flyers and I would go pound the pavement, and it was my way of working out my frustration. And guess what? I got some deals because of it.
Well, of course you did, because you took activity. There was activity. There was action. So there's a comment here from Taz, and I love this comment because it's so
sure.
But wait a second. It's exactly what people think, but it's wrong. And I'll tell you how I know. We had a door knocking campaign that we had 9 full-time employees that all they did every day was knock doors. And now we didn't do it during the wintertime. It started in the spring, went through the fall. But I'm talking about 9 people knocking every door in the entire city of Philadelphia, in every single neighborhood. And I will tell you that knocking in bad neighborhoods, it feels uncomfortable. Sure, absolutely. But that's where this is one thing that I learned from door knocking for houses is you never pitch the house that you're at. If you pitch the house that you're at, you're going to get beat up or shot or kicked off the front porch. You are always looking for help. If you're looking for help, people want to help you, especially if you're willing to pay.
That's good.
So our pitch head was always, you go up to the door, you knock, you say, "Hey, Mr. Homeowner, how you doing? My name's Josh. We're a home buying company. We're finishing up a project around the corner. We're looking for our next project. And as we're out in these neighborhoods, we're looking for help from people like you that live here and know people that want or need to sell. If you can help me, I can give you $500 when these people sell their house to us. Here's my flyer. Who do you know that's looking to sell?" And guess what? The people that wanted to sell their house, they're going to tell you that. And yeah, you're going to have to give them a referral for their own property, but it keeps you from getting kicked off the front porch, screamed at, yelled at, and all that stuff. I mean, scary neighborhoods.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I was looking for pretty houses in pretty neighborhoods. And I was looking for pretty houses in pretty neighborhoods, and I was looking mostly to do subject to, not do rehabs. And I was looking to target neighborhoods that I knew there probably wasn't going to be a lot of equity, and therefore I knew wholesalers probably wouldn't be able to operate. And I loved when people called me on my flyer and said, "Hey, listen, I've already talked to 2 or 3 people. They want to offer me $60,000 for my house. I owe 120, so I can't take it. But their house is worth 140. Well, great. I mean, I can take over payments and have 20 and make $20,000 on day one. So yeah, I love. Here's the other thing. This is what's so critical about, especially this one and our next one that we're going to talk about, is it gets you out of the house doing something. So we all want to be real estate investors because we want more for our life. We need to change. We need something different. And instead of being upset and going insular, instead of being upset and looking to bigger pockets and podcasts and things like that, if you say, "I'm going to go take action," even if it's inefficient action, even if it's bad action, even if it's whatever, you're putting yourself at a greater likelihood of getting a deal and getting out of your situation than you are reading bigger pockets. Now, I'm a contributor to bigger pockets. I love bigger pockets, but I can't say I've never gotten a deal on bigger pockets, because I have. But you don't. But more for my property management business than my motivated seller business. You're not going to find motivated sellers on bigger pockets.
So I've got one more situation where door knocking is almost the only way for things to work, right? Lancaster City has developing neighborhoods. Most urban markets have developing neighborhoods. These are areas that overnight, for one reason or another, property values go from 10,000 to 300,000, and it just becomes a new hot neighborhood. Well, the people that live in that neighborhood, they're not stupid. They're looking around and they're looking at all these skyscrapers, or not, maybe not skyscrapers, but new construction, and they
have houses, gentrification.
Right. And they're getting postcards out the nose, all this stuff. When you're canvassing in these areas, I mean, I know people that took a 5 block by 5 block area and every day just walked up and down the street and talked to people and handed out their card. And before you know it, a year later, these people weren't willing to sell on day one, but a year later they had a relationship with them, and there was no chance that they were going to sell to anybody else because they had a relationship. They trusted these people. People show up with a birthday cake on their birthday, or take them sticky buns in the morning. I mean, that's real life stuff that works, and it goes to something we haven't talked about yet, is defining your target market. But
right, and I think it's we got to get Steven Seymour on here, and forgive me for not having him on here yet. Really great guy out of Chester County, and he has like 25 really nice quality. Like the prices are different down there, but it's like Lancaster County equivalent of like a $250,000 house. Just a little bit above your starter house. And they're all in like a half a mile radius of each other, because he did exactly that. For 2 years, he was just like, I'm walking this area every day. And he now has, and they're a higher than average quality tenants. They text him and tell him, hey, my rent's going to be a day or two late. Is that okay? And he just texts him back and says, yeah, don't let it happen again. I mean, he is, and it's the same thing. Just by knowing your market, there is no substitute for developing relationships in your market. All right, dude, we're going way too long on this one. Let's keep moving.
All right, so bandit signs. All right, I'm going to let you take the.
So I love bandit signs. I think that they're great. I used to put out about 30 bandit signs on a weekend, and they were gone by Monday. But also by Monday or Tuesday, I had 30 phone calls. So and from that, I would get 1 or 2 deals. And so every month, I would take a weekend, half a Saturday, or a whole Saturday, part of Sunday, whatever, and I would put out about 30 bandit signs. I would only do it once a month, so that the local officials weren't screaming at me. It was like just infrequent enough that they never really no. That's why they're called bandit signs. Of course, they're not legal. And I'm not telling you to put out bandit signs. No, this is not, don't break the law. So here's the thing. I like getting the 18 by 24 coroplast. I mean, record this and write this down. I can make everybody hundreds of thousands of dollars in the next 45 seconds. 18 by 24 coroplast yellow bandit signs bought from Gregory.com. They cost a little bit more than $1 a piece. You buy this.
What's that website again?
Gregory Sign Company.com. You buy the Sharpie chisel, Sharpie Magnum. Excuse me. It's got a chisel point on it. You can't buy them in stores because they're a graffiti thing. And I would write, we buy homes, not houses. It's less letters. It's easier to read. We buy homes, and then my telephone number. And I would write it. The human eye sees handwriting and letters. I could get more into that, but I'm not going to. I've got, whether you believe we were created by a loving God who wants to have communication with people, or whether you believe we evolved from monkeys, what makes man is our ability to communicate with each other. It's hardwired into us. And we see handwritten letters much quicker and better than printed letters. So you drive the same route to your office every day, hopefully not the past 3 weeks, thanks Tommy Wolf. And you pass all kinds of signage from all kinds of businesses. But the thing that catches your eye is the thing that you see written on notebook paper in crayon that says "lost kitten" and it's half obscured by a bush. Think
Yeah.
about it. So handwritten works better. Don't say "we buy houses fast." Don't say "we buy houses cash," because fast means cheap and cash means crappy. And even if you need to buy, even if somebody's in a situation where they should sell their house to you quickly, people have an unusually high lack of self-awareness, self included. I know that I'm long-winded, but I can't stop myself from doing it. So nobody wants to admit that their house is as bad as it is. So they don't want to talk to somebody who buys houses for cash. They don't want to, they don't want to be in a rushed, negative, bad situation. So just say "we buy houses." Anything more than that is educating people. And if your marketing educates people, it lowers the number of people who are going to call you. Educate them once you have them on the phone so that you can properly educate them. Because if you educate them on a sign, they're going to internalize without even, it doesn't even rise to conscious thought that cash equals crappy and fast equals desperate. Well, I'm not desperate to sell a crappy house, so therefore I'm not going to call that number. Nobody thinks of themselves as desperate to sell a crappy house, so never market ever "we buy houses fast cash."
Yeah.
Bad marketing. Also, never ever say "we take over payments." No one understands what that means.
Yeah.
And even if they do understand what it means, they don't really understand what it means, and it sounds like a scam. So the only thing that should ever be on a bandit sign is "we buy houses" or "we buy homes" and a telephone number. Period. The end. Convince me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to try. You can do these handwritten or you can have them printed. There's plenty of places you can pick these things up for a few bucks. Not much. If you want
You
to spend,
can pre-print them if you want to. If you're going to do like 500, or you're going to give them to somebody like Becca Shea, pays somebody $5 a sign, and he posts them and takes a picture and sends it to her, and then she geolocates them and everything like that. Like, that's what's great about this, is it also scales.
Yeah.
I just think that it's better to not, just like it's better to handwrite the address on an envelope, but if you're going to send out 5,000 envelopes, you obviously can't do that. So,
Right.
at a certain point, the
Right.
scale outweighs the individual effectiveness. If you're ever putting out less than 50 bandit signs, handwrite them sons of bitches.
All right, that's one thing. Let's talk about posting them. I mean, you mentioned you put them up on a Saturday afternoon. I always liked posting on Friday night after 5 o'clock. You
Sure.
put them up Friday night after 5 o'clock. There's going to be less people driving around to give you a hard time about it. There's going to be less, I don't know, oversight, right? And if you're really concerned about the municipality thing, go Sunday afternoon and take them down yourself. You know what I mean? If they haven't been put down, well, take them down yourself and go back the next Friday night. It gives you a couple days when people are driving around that they'll notice them.
I've never, ever had somebody give me a hard time while I'm putting out bandit signs. It's one of those things that people feel and think might happen. It's never happened to me. Maybe I look tougher than you, Josh. I'm more intimidating. People don't even want to come up and mess with me.
You certainly are. I get that. I've been harassed by people that live on the block, and
Right.
Usually it's like areas where there's 50 million of them hanging all over the place. I mean, that's been a long time.
Here's my favorite. I put out a sign on a Friday night or Saturday, and it's beside the tax guy's sign, and it's by the new restaurant open sign. You know what I mean?
Yep.
By Tuesday, only your sign is gone. All the others are still there.
Yeah, I know. It's outrageous, right? It's really nuts. And that's an agent taking it down.
Yeah, or a concerned citizen or something like that. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Sure. All right. So the big thing here with bandit signs is continual maintenance, knowing that they're going to come down one way or another. That This is throwaway, just as if you were, sending out a mailer. You're not going to get them back to reuse again.
Right.
All right. Last but not least, foundational, marketing, probates. Like probates are probating is the legal process of settling a will or an estate.
Right.
And what that means is that you got to pay taxes on whatever you're inheriting. There might not be any federal income taxes owed, but there's going to be some state income taxes likely that are owed on the estate. And in order to settle it, you need to go through the legal process. Once these are filed,
so what that means is, so here's what happens. Let's say Josh inherits his mother's home. I did business with his mother. His mother owes me money. Probate is the state's way of saying, hey, everybody, we're getting ready to give this house to Josh. Does anybody else have a claim out there to this? Well, guess what? Judah Hoover did business with Josh's mother, so it's a signal to me to get involved and actually take advantage of that. But it's also a signal to Tom, Dick, or Harry wholesaler out there. Hey, I should call Josh. He's about to get this house. You could probably list it with a realtor for $100,000, but maybe it'd sell it to me quickly for cash for only $60,000, and we can do business that way. So probate is a way that you can identify people who might be motivated. It's a good list to market to. If you get a list, you can scrub it through a skip tracer. We're not going to teach you how to do that. You can watch YouTube videos on it or figure it out online. And skip tracers will say, okay, here is every telephone number that I know that's associated with Josh. And it might be 2 or 3. It might be his wife's cell phone number. It might be his office number. It might be the fax number at his church. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to call numbers and hey, I'm looking for Josh Weidman because I had an interest in talking to him about 123 Main Street. Some people, so it's just the skip tracer looks through everything that they can find and say, this number kind of sort of might have been associated with Josh at one point. You should give it a call.
That's right. And the easiest way to contact these people is to send them a postcard or a letter. That's the most accessible information typically. With that being said, you can guarantee that there's going to be a lot of competition with this list.
It's just like absentee owners. Yeah. You know what I mean? Out-of-state owners.
One caveat to that is if it's hard to get. If it's hard to get, that is gold. Those lists that nobody, like the ungettable list, is the one that is the very best information because nobody else is marketing to these people. And that's something we'll talk about a little bit later.
Focus your list. Start with probates for out-of-state owners, multifamily. And there's ways you can do high equity searches now where they predict that there's a fair amount of equity based on how long ago the last mortgage was recorded and what the last mortgage is versus what Zillow says median home price is. Like there's ways that they can kind of predict high equity. So you can take it. So probate can be one of your filters for a narrowly defined list.
That's right.
Great content today, dude.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, look, it's a place to start. It's not a place to end. It's a place to start. It's a way that you can start getting your phones ringing, start getting your foot in the door, and start finding deals. I mean,
and if you don't like these 3, tell us in the comments what 3 you do. I never particularly loved probates, but I did love absentee owners. Not even necessarily out-of-state owners. I paid somebody one time like $150 to write a program for the GIS system of my local county that it just queried, is there a difference in the address between where the tax bills are sent and what the subject property are, and it spit me out a list, and I just mailed those people. So I was able to, for a one-time fee, get myself unlimited mailings, and I just mailed postcards to those.
And that's the way to go on postcards versus letters. I mean, The one thing that I've found with, you said it. If you're going to handwrite each envelope, it's more likely to get opened. But let's be honest. Who opens, if you get a stack of letters that are marketing pieces, most of the time I don't even open them.
Right.
You go right in the trash. So I like postcards for that reason, except for probates. And I do a 5-page mailing for those.
Here's been my success with probates. Can I tell you a dirty little secret? Oh, we're 34 minutes in. I hope people stuck around and strapped in for this one. I did probates because what I did is I mailed to every attorney, not every attorney's office. I mailed to every attorney in Lancaster County. That
Yep.
is a limited number of lists. That is a list that you can handwrite the number 10 envelopes in blue ballpoint pen and buy a red stamp that says confidential. Guess what that means? The attorney himself is opening that letter. I mean,
Oh,
sometimes they might have a secretary open or whatever, but like you get that letter into the attorney's hand and it says, I'm a real estate investor.
yeah.
I got you to open this letter because of how hard I work and how much I care working with people. If you ever have any clients who are in a real estate problem, give me a call. I have a real estate solution. I had attorneys call me, and I had a stable of 5 attorneys that I worked with in Lancaster County that I still have relationships with today, who would send me there anytime somebody had a real estate problem.
That's awesome. That's a great bit of information there. I love it. Okay, so now we have 4 tips.
Right. But it's how I did probates. And like that's the thing is like there's always ways you can be doing that. I mean, I love April Crossley. She was just talking the other day about how she said she's another person we need to have on here. She was talking that she mailed out and made the envelope big and puffy, but she would buy a dum-dum, a sucker, and tape it to a letter and send it to potential hard money lenders.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a dum-dum. You're being a sucker in the marketplace right now. Invest with me and I can, blah, 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 blah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, get creative. I stapled, actually, you know what? To each and every one of those letters, I just remembered this. I stapled $1 to it as well. So my mailing cost went from, 50 cents to $1.50, and I did like 200 or 300 in Lancaster County. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that much, but I got awesome relationships with attorneys.
Yep.
They were paying attention.
I love it. I love it. All right. That's all we got for today. Thanks for joining us. And we'll be back here at noon tomorrow to, talk turkey and marketing.
Awesome, guys. Have a great day.
Take care.